In this video I'm going to give you a great system for next to the rack break shots. My goal is to give you more knowledge so you can be extra confident when you're shooting these shots and you can get results like this. Hi pool players, it's the Terminator and welcome back to another episode of Terminator Tips. If you're new here, please make sure you hit that subscribe button and click to like this video so you won't miss anything in the future. Let's dive into today's lesson. Okay, the system I'm about to explain to you works really well for the top 3 balls in the rack. For the lowest ball I'm going to do a separate video. So step 1, we have to find out which direction the cue ball is going to take after it hits the object ball. The object ball being the 14 in this case. How do we find that out? We determine the tangent line. The tangent line is the 90-degree angle that the cue ball comes off the object ball with a flat ball hit. So a stun, no draw, no topspin. It goes straight off the ball. And that direction is what we need to determine where we will hit the balls in the rack. So how do we do that? There's a simple trick. We take our cue, we measure it over the corner pocket, the opening of the corner pocket, and I usually line it up to where I see the lines of where my cue come together. So this would be one part of my 90-degree angle, this line here, and I can see the stripe on my cue aiming there. I put my cue over that line as such, and I see it's going to make contact with the 7 ball in this case. Here's where it gets super powerful. We can see if we're going to contact a ball low, full in the face, or perhaps even a bit high. And that's when we're going to start using the system. When we hit the ball low, we want to avoid scratching in the corner, so we put draw on the ball, on the cue ball. Here's an example. When we're going to contact the ball full in the face, like the 3 ball here, we want to avoid being stuck in the rack. That's what a lot of amateur players and intermediate straight pool players struggle with. They don't see that they can get stuck in the rack. They don't know what's happening. We want to get away from being stuck there. We hit it with a firm stun shot to kick off the rack and bounce back out into the open table. Here's another example. And then finally, when we contact the object ball on the high side, what usually happens is the cue ball wants to travel up table and you get stuck with a very long, tough shot. We want to break that speed by using a middle ball, middle cue ball. That breaks the speed of the cue ball, and we keep the cue ball here on this side of the table for a nice next shot on your object ball. Check out this example. Then there could also be a situation like here where you're not sure if you're going to hit the high side of the 7 or the low side of the 3. In that case, I always draw the cue ball because I don't want to risk the scratch. I rather send the cue ball up table than have a shot than scratch in the corner. Here's a really big thing to keep in mind, guys. If the object ball is further away from the rack and you're using draw, keep in mind the cue ball will go forward a little bit before it starts coming backwards. So you have to adjust your aim a bit. What actually happens is the cue ball deviates from its path and actually perhaps hits the other ball. I found this out in tournaments also when the conditions were very slick, new cloth. The cue ball starts curving more and I thought I was going to hit a ball low, but I was actually hitting the next ball high and the cue ball kept coming up table. So I had to figure a way to adapt my aim and I said, okay, I'm going to hit the next ball instead of this ball. So now I have to shoot it perhaps with stun or a middle ball. I had to adapt my aim because of the slickness of the cloth and the balls. So keep that in mind, also when you're further away from the rack. This system is extremely powerful. It's going to give you a lot of knowledge and insight of how the balls react, and it's going to give you a guideline and a tool for when you're not sure what's going to happen to the balls and the outcome. So start using this. Don't forget to check out the other videos on this channel. There's a ton of information waiting for you here to boost your game. And if you're interested in training the mental side of your game, head over to terminatorcollege.com and check out all the courses available for you there. See you later.